I was just in this truck stop, right? And I got a burrito, and this burrito looks amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad about the burrito, but in typical this guy trucks fashion, I'm annoyed by something. Of course I am. So I'm in this truck stop in this toxic wasteland known as Wyoming, and it's freezing out there. As Dad would say, it's colder than a witch's tit out there. Thank you, Dad, for helping me expand my vocabulary in such a fantastic way. But I got this amazing looking burrito, and I can't wait to tear that up. But I was paying, and the girl working there, she goes, "Is that everything for you?" And I said, "Yes." And she goes, "Cool beans." She said cool beans to me. That is one of my most hated phrases in all of, I would like to say, English language, but I don't even understand where that saying came from. I once had a friend, notice I said once had a friend, they always would use the term cool beans when you would tell them something interesting. And we were friends for like 20 years, and I finally just cut him off. I said, I can't do it anymore. I can't do this cool beans nonsense anymore. I can't listen to it one more time. And you guys might think I'm lying. Maybe you think we had a falling out about something else. No, it was absolutely that. I couldn't take it anymore. And this girl said that to me, and I had flashbacks, and I stopped being her friend immediately too. Like we just met, but that's all I want to know about her. I'm done. I'm checking out of that relationship altogether. Yeah, it's freezing out there in Wyoming in the damn middle of May, my friends. Anyways, sorry about that little tangent to start the video, but it was what was on my mind, so it's what we talked about. Today, though, I'm going to talk about, I ran into a Swift driver, a Swift owner-operator that just thought he knew everything, just thought he was the smartest goddamn trucker on the planet, and that Swift trucker, that Swift owner-operator was me. That's right. Today we're talking about me because I love me some me. Absolutely I do. So every once in a while, you guys know that I read all the comments and I interact with you guys, sometimes poorly. I understand. I've been making a conscious effort to not respond so hostile in the comment section, but sometimes poorly. And one of the things that kept coming up is what we're going to talk about today, and why I'm the smartest guy in the room. Of course, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. But first, can I vent for a minute? I hope you guys don't mind. There's something that's bothering me. There's something that's on my mind, and I want to talk about it, and I know that I'm giving this thing way too much oxygen just by bringing it up. But it was troubling. And I kind of had, you guys know that I deal with like everybody. I'm not special here, but I deal with a lot of anxiety and depression and things like that. I think we all fucking do, because the world's a depressing place and everything's scary, and we don't know, we almost have no control over our own damn lives anymore, right? You know, that kind of anxiety, right? So I spent this morning just like really dealing with the anxiety and frustrated with something. And I may have lashed out a little bit last night. This is not by any means an apology video. Let me fucking explain. For those of you that pay attention a little more to just my videos, you may know that there's a particular crackhead that's been kind of obsessed with me for the last year, and I'd say at least the last year. And I'll give you a little bit of backstory. Me and him have had some back and forth over the years. It's never been anything too crazy. When I came back to YouTube, he was like my biggest cheerleader. Like, this guy trucks is back. He's, you know, you're out there showing him, Josh, how to be a real trucker and all this stuff. And you're not just like a YouTube trucker. You're a trucker that does YouTube videos. And I took the compliment. I was like, hell yeah. And he finally told me one day. That the reason he hated me so much before my first go around on YouTube with my old channel was because he couldn't stand the fact that channel generated an income for me, and he didn't think it was fair because he wasn't driving a truck anymore. He was just doing DoorDash and stuff like that, and he didn't think it was fair that I was making an income off of trucking and an income off of YouTube, and life's not fair, woe is me, all of these things, right? So when he came to me and he said those things to me, I told him, I said, I gotta be honest with you. I'm going to, this was when this channel had just started. I brand new this channel. I said, when this channel is eligible for monetization, I'm going to also monetize this channel and hopefully make a little bit of money off YouTube videos, because why not, right? If people like watching them, why not make a few dollars? I don't see the harm in it. I don't. And anyways, the minute I monetize this video, this person has went off the fucking rails, has lost their mind, right? But I always kind of laughed about it. You guys have heard me kind of make jokes about the crackhead and things like that, right? And I guess the point I'm trying to get to, and like I said, I'm giving this too much oxygen. I know I am, but it's one of those things that's been in my head all day, and I just have to say it out loud just to get it out, right? So the crackhead has been like accusing me of being a drug addict and an alcoholic for a long time, and obviously those things are not true. I mean, I'm not by any means a drug addict. I like beer, right? I like beer when I'm off work and I can have a beer. I like having a beer, right? But it has never ever interfered with me doing my job. I don't know why I'm even defending these fucking things, right? I mean, but what he started doing is kind of what kind of pushed me over the edge last night into this morning, was he has started making videos specifically making sure, you know, Swift sees them, Swift in the title, things like that, and getting other people to share them out, that are basically saying, Swift, you need to pull this guy off the road, talking about me, because he's a drug addict, he's an alcoholic, he's a danger to all the people on the road. Now, look, there's a logical side of this and there's an emotional side of this, right? Logically, I obviously know that Swift isn't going to go, oh God, some guy on the internet just called one of our drivers a drug addict and an alcoholic. We must cancel his contract right now. Obviously, that's not a thing that's going to happen. That would be fucking silly, right? But, it's troubling that somebody watches a person that works very hard, because I do work very hard. I'm right now balls deep in a 3,000-mile week, like I do week in and week out for the most part. I kick out 3 videos a week, almost every week. I make sure I get you guys your live stream. I work hard for this, right? And nobody praise me. I don't want anybody to be like, yeah, fuck yeah, Josh, you do work hard. I know the work I put in. I understand that, like, I fucking have to skip, like, my whole life, basically, for these 2 things. Driving the truck and getting the YouTube videos out. Now, don't feel bad. These are the choices I'm making for myself, right? And also, on a side note, I'm actually going to swing by my house tonight. How cool is that? Because I can. I have some time on this load. It delivers tomorrow. It's a drop and hook. I'm going to stop by my house. I meant to say this earlier in the video, but I'm not going to act like the local drivers and say the thing they always say to me. And that thing they always say to me is, I'm going to go home and fuck my wife. I would never, ever on the internet or on YouTube get on here and say that about my wife. I respect my wife. I don't think she's just a warm hole for me to put my little pee-pee in. So you won't hear me say that, but I'm going to stop by and see the family tonight. How cool is that? All right, so back to the point. Obviously, I don't think Swift is going to do something silly like that. Swift drug tested me twice before I came in the door. They could drug test me right now. It doesn't fucking matter. You want me to step out the truck right now and take a breathalyzer? Absolutely. There is no real issue here. It just drives me fucking crazy that people that aren't willing to put in the work like I am find themselves envious of the work that I put in, and sometimes I see a little bit of reward from it, and they try to cancel me over it. Can we stop with the cancel culture bullshit? It's enough, and it's coming from the people that claim to hate cancel culture, that say it's a bad thing. So I'm sorry, guys. I know I gave that too much oxygen, but thank you for letting me get it off my chest. I did retaliate because I got mad, and then I thought better of it, and I stopped retaliating. Some of you know, very few of you know, that I have a little side channel that I don't really do anything with, and I had taken one of his more psychotic videos where he was threatening to go to an Uber passenger's house because they reported him. He drives for Uber. They reported him for being drunk. And I had actually tagged Uber and Uber Eats and DoorDash, all the things he works for. And this morning, you know, I thought better of it, and I said, this man's got nothing going on in his life. I shouldn't. You know what? Those customers already knew he was drunk at work, so let them take out the trash, and I don't have to worry about it. So I just had to get that off my chest. Okay, let's get back to the point of the video. All right. So I met the smartest goddamn Swift driver on the planet. Like I said, that Swift driver was me. So what I want to do is I want to go way back in time, like 2 months ago, if even that. Yes, 2 months actually sounds about fair. I'm coming up on a month already here at Swift, and next week we'll do a 1 month review on Swift if my contract hasn't been terminated because of hearsay on the internet. I'm sure that's going to happen. Anyways, I was at Western Flyer, and I had put out a video talking about how I had, sorry, need some nicotine, how I had told the company that I want to switch from Reefer to dry van, and I gave all my reasons for wanting to move to dry van. I do have a lot of non-truckers here. If you're not familiar with the terms refrigerated trailer and basically not refrigerated trailer, I hope that helps. I'm sure a lot of people that watch trucking videos, even if they're non-truckers, understand all those things, but whatever I can do to help. And the reason was because, as we all know, in refrigerated trucking, you are dealing with a lot of times long load and unload times, even on dropping hooks. You know, go to the old Tyson plant, they say, oh, your load's ready over at Tyson. You get over to Tyson, they say, yeah, check back in 10 hours, we'll see if that's ready for you. You're like, fuck, I just got out of bed, son of a bitch. And JBS and all these fucking companies that just take their sweet ass time to get a truck loaded and unloaded and all those things. And on top of that, you're dealing with pretty crazy schedules. Now, I did do that recently. Let me get back to that if I remember. But you're dealing with crazy schedules, like pickups and deliveries at 1 a.m., 3 a.m., things like that, that kind of force you into flip-flopping schedules and things like that. So I had given those as my reasons for wanting to move into dry van. And I also had said that in dry van, sure, you're going to pull a lot of heavy loads like you do in Reefer, but there's a lot of times where you may pull a very light load. Right now I'm pulling a 20,000 pound load, just killing it on the fuel mileage, absolutely crushing it, right? And since I was doing a lease there also, fuel mileage kind of mattered to me, right? Now what had happened though was, out of nowhere, well, not out of nowhere, it's a YouTube channel with a comment section. I should have expected this, right? Was I was getting comments from people saying, but Josh, switching to dry van does nothing, absolutely nothing to fix those things, and you're wrong, and you're going to move over to dry van, and you're going to spend 10 hours on docks every day still. You're going to have to flip-flop your schedule constantly, and you're going to have to do all these things. And I'm bouncing around the truck so much that it's actually shaking. I guess I'm just excited. It's all the drugs! I'm just kidding. I'm fucking kidding, Swift. I'm playing. God damn it. I just got myself fired. Fuck. I'm sure it'll be fine. They do. I found out that they actually do watch my videos, so I guess they either get my sense of humor or they don't. And I guess if they don't think I'm funny, then I've got a problem on my hands now, don't I? Yeah, sure do. Anyways, sometimes I feel like the viewers of YouTube are experts in the art of fucking gaslighting, right? Because I was like, no, guys, no, what you're saying is factually incorrect, because I have worked in trucking for a very long time now. I have done dry van, I have done reefer. Those have been the two primary things I have done in my entire career. And I don't want to say never ran into those problems, because that would be silly of me to say, but much less frequently did I have to sit on docks or switch to driving the night shift when I just was driving the day shift just a few hours ago or whatever, right? And I kept like telling people, no, like what you're saying isn't true. This can still happen on dry van. Absolutely it can. And that's what I was going to say earlier, because I actually delivered to a grocery warehouse up in Seattle and had a 1 a.m. appointment, and that fucking sucked, but it was super cool. It was dry van. I was out of there in like an hour. And the next load was drop and hook. I mean, I was out of Seattle by 4 a.m. I was gone. I was down the road. And that was pretty nice. But like, no matter how many times I would tell people, like, no, like what you're saying isn't true. I've done both. I understand both. People would come back and tell me over and over that, like, I didn't know what I was saying. And I was like, am I really going crazy? Have I lost my fucking mind? And the fact of the matter is Well, the fact of the matter is I was right the entire fucking time. Jeez, imagine that. That's fucking crazy. If you guys are wondering why I'm staring down today, I know I have a tendency to do that. I took a drink of my morning Starbucks vanilla frappuccino this morning, and it had chunks in it. And I didn't know what to do. I panicked and I spit Starbucks vanilla frappuccino all over the floor of my truck, and it's a fucking disaster. And that's why I keep looking down and staring at it, because it's just, oh, how am I gonna clean that up? And it's on the side of my seat. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So what the hell was I talking about? So Western Flyer wouldn't let me off of Reefer. They ran me around for a month saying, yeah, you got to have this one phone call with the gatekeeper of Dry Van, apparently. And then when you talk to him, then and only then will we make you switch over to, we will have you switch over to Dry Van. And I told you guys about this in the previous video. The guy called me. He was basically a fucking used car salesman. He was giving me this whole rundown about how much money I was going to lose and all that stuff. And I tried to explain my point of view, my side of it. You know, less time sitting on docks, more drop and hook, sometimes lighter loads, things like that to help with the fuel mileage. And he straight up wouldn't listen to me either. And he was telling me that all the points I was making were wrong. He said that, dude, you know that in Dry Van you sit on docks for 10 hours also, right? And I said, no, what the hell is going on? Has the world fucking gone crazy? I mean, I swear to God, like I've said in a video recently about what is an owner-operator, the meaning of words have gone out the fucking window. Which reminds me, I wanted to talk about that real quick too, because a lot of people came and told me that I was wrong. Here's what an owner-operator is. An owner-operator owns the truck in some form or fashion, however he's making the payments, and he operates that truck. Owner-operator, super easy, just super straightforward English language, right? People started telling me, Josh, the word operator means operating a business. No, the fuck it don't. What are you talking about? Quit gaslighting me, you fucks. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Owner-operator does not mean operating a business. It means operating the truck. You own the truck and you operate the truck. Wherever this crazy shit came from, I have no fucking clue. So then somebody tried to tell me then, because I was arguing that point, they tried to tell me that, how did they say it? It was so fucking bizarre. They were still sticking to the point that operator implies ownership of a company. And he said, Josh, if you own a truck but you don't have your own MC, then you're considered to be an owner driver. Get the fuck out of here. You guys are crazy. You're out of your mind. There's no such thing as an owner driver. That's never been said in the history of the human language, owner driver. And he says, yes, operator means ownership of a company. So with that said, goddammit, I almost threw my hat. With that said, I want to offer a huge congratulations to all the forklift operators out there. You are now the owners of forklift companies, because fuck it, you can be anything you want in the world as long as you change the goddamn meaning of the words. There you go. All the forklift owner operators actually own the forklift companies. There's no goddamn such thing as forklift companies. There's forklift manufacturers. Of course there are. But god damn it, I don't know what the fuck is going on in the world. I forgot what I was talking about. Okay, so everybody was telling me that Dry Van, you're gonna sit on docks, you're just gonna do, you're gonna drive overnight, and you're gonna do all these things, Josh, and you just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Oh god, heaven help me, what the fuck is going on? I'm about to have a mental breakdown in this truck right now. Here's my point. Here's my fucking point. All right, there is a point, believe it or not. It's not all insanity here. There's a point. Since I came to Swift, it was almost alarming how quickly I turned calm there, wasn't it? That frightened me even a little bit. Anyways, since I came to Swift, I live unloaded on my very first load. Then I drop and hooked, I drop and hooked, I drop and hooked. I think I live unloaded once in California. And then I picked up, I don't fucking remember. How the fuck did I get to Seattle? I went and picked something up somewhere. I don't remember, man. Must have blanked that out of my memory because I don't fucking remember. Oh, I picked up a preloaded trailer, got that live unloaded in Seattle, and then this load is a drop and hook on both sides. Now, I understand it's anecdotal evidence. It's just me and my experiences, right? But the good news is, me and my experiences, as I use my experiences to apply towards my future experiences, it turns out my experience fucking matters, believe it or not. Almost everything has been drop and hook. Now, there is a difference between companies, Western Flyer and Swift, right? But Western Flyer is a fairly large company also. They had a ton of drop and hook freight on their dry van side. They even told me as much. And dry van, for any company with 300, 400, 500 trucks or trailers, let's say, dry van is almost inherently drop and hook. When it's contract freight, right? Not the only time, but a lot of times where you're going to see live load and live unload is when you're pulling off the spot market, right? So we know for a fucking fact that dry van is mostly drop and hook. Why are you guys doing this to me, man? Why do people insist on making me feel like I'm crazy, like I've lost my ever-loving mind, when I fucking can apply my 10 years of experience and use that 10 years of experience to make informed decisions about what I plan to do with my trucking career? And I have found, I'm looking up to God right now. Please hear me. Please hear me. I know I've said I'm an atheist all this time and I don't believe in you, but God, I need you. There's too much fucking insanity on this planet. There's just too much fucking insanity. The whole point of the video, guys, is I was right the whole fucking time. I wasn't crazy for saying the things that I was saying. I don't know where you guys come up with this shit. I don't know what possesses you to just straight up lie about your own experiences so you can tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. And I guess I'm just gonna head home. It's time to go spend the night at home. Get out of the truck. See you guys later. Bye now.